What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood gamer, your host, Coach Key, and welcome to Legends of Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video. I normally drop it on Fridays if you're new to the channel. We were having some technical difficulties, so we had to postpone it for tonight, Sunday night. So I appreciate your patience, but moving forward, definitely expect the videos to drop on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In today's video, we're going to do a quick review of a really cool solo book that I've gotten my hands onto, and I want to share it with you guys. Ker Nethalas. Ker Nethalas. What the? Ker Nethalas. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure, but that doesn't stop me from giving my take on this really cool solo. It's solo or co-op game. And don't forget to make sure you hit that like button so that YouTube thinks that I'm pretty cool. If you would like to further support the channel and vote on the video for the week that I do, then come on down and subscribe to Legends and Dice's Patreon. Back to the business at hand. Let's go ahead and jump into, I'm just going to do a quick review, and the next session that I do with this, it will be an actual solo playthrough. But today, we're just going to take a quick look inside of the book. Let's get it. So this is a really cool book. I've only been playing solo RPGs since maybe about August, September. And mainly I've been running games that are not made specifically for solo play. I've just been utilizing the systems and then of course using some random tables from random places to create adventures. If you're new to the channel, I have solo playthroughs of Cairn, Dragonbane, which I love Dragonbane. Dragonbane is super cool. So, and I've recently gotten this really cool book as well. I'm really digging it. It has so many options as far as expansions. I think it's pretty cool so far. So I'm still reading through it, and when I'm done, I'll do a quick review on it, and then we will get to work playing. If you go to the website, Black Oath Entertainment, it has plenty of player aids on there. Then you can get your character sheet, which is this right here, super cool. Then the player reference, so you don't have to keep flipping back and forth inside of the book, which is super cool, especially for someone like myself. It even has a section for exploring where you have your tables at. That's one of the things that I really like about this book is the random tables that are in here. You have everything you need inside of this book to play and have fun. It's really cool. So, and I love player aids. Once I purchase a book, that's normally the next thing that I get. So, and the artwork in here also is pretty cool. And this is a D100 system, which is pretty cool. Of course, in the very beginning, it gives you an intro to the area that you'll be going to, a dangerous place to explore. You are a survivor executed, or so they thought, when they threw you down here and trapped in an endless nightmare. As you explore what's left of the once glorious Valorian ascendancy, you will uncover details about their buried history and customs, while trying to survive the many undead horrors that now roam the vast catacombs, temples, and chambers of the necropolis. Gives you an introduction on the world above and the world below. Look at the artwork. Super cool. And then you go into creating your survivor. First thing you do is roll on the table to figure out which crime were you accused of, why you were executed. I don't know what it is, but I love yellow highlighters, but not just any yellow highlighter, a bright yellow highlighter like this. I don't know what it is. I love it. Starts with your character's attributes. You've got health, toughness, ether. It's a representation of the character's spiritual and psychic power, and is used to cast spells. You've got sanity, magic resistance, and then you've got your skills. You've got acrobatics, athletics, bladed weapons, dungeon weapons, dodge, endurance, medicine, perception, resolve, reason, scavenge, shafted weapons, stealth, thievery, unarmed combat, and fixed weapons. So it tells you exactly the amounts that you're given to apply to each of these skills. And then there are these things that you start with, masteries, and you get 2 starting with. Masteries define your personal path, becoming the foundation of the type of character you want to play. Each mastery represents a specific style of play, a toolbox that will grant you access to specific powers and moves. Each mastery has a mastery tree that you'll unlock as you level up, acquiring new abilities that will surely help you in your journey through the Midnight Throne. And as you can see, you've got a few to pick from. Pretty interesting ones too. And so it is a D100 system. When you're asked to perform a check, you make a D100, you take a D100 and attempt to roll equal to or less than the attribute or skill in question. You've got opposed checks. It does have critical successes and fumbles, advantage and disadvantage. You've got, of course, your master ability checks. And then you've got something called usage dice. Usage dice are used to keep track of several things in Ker Nethalas into the Midnight Throne. Instead of having to write it down, instead of having to write a list of details and timers, you simply keep track of a few different dice. And it breaks it down to how it actually works. And there's also a table for this as well. Combat next, your attack roll, and then the action types, things that you can do, of course, on your turn. Characters can make 3 different types of actions in combat. You can do a free action, you can do reactions, or you can do standard actions. And it says the standard actions are the core of a combat round. They are self-contained, and the results are seen in the same turn. Unless they possess some sort of ability, PCs have 1 standard action per round. Certain abilities and spells do need 2 or more standard actions to be completed, unless the character in question can perform more than 1 regular standard action per round. And then you've got your initiative and surprise. You can flee, of course, and it lets you know a critical strike automatically wins the confrontation, regardless of the opponent's roll. And then it has a table because you're going to end up targeting or hitting a specific location on the body, which is super cool. Every creature you encounter will have a weak spot. Striking a creature's weak spot is considered an automatic critical hit. As a human, your weak spot is located in your head. And now you can target specific body parts, but it does say that you take some sort of disadvantage, but it does let you know that it does have some benefits. And of course, dealing damage. If the attack manages to hit, the attacker rolls damage, and damage dealt column shows the amount of health and toughness that must be subtracted from the creature suffering the damage. Unless they are wearing some sort of armor, it has lists of different types of different damage types that can be inflicted. So you've got your table for fumbles, your health, your healing and death. Pretty simple. Once your health is dropped to 0, you die. You can be infected by diseases that the creatures carry below. You have conditions. You've got bleeding, blinded, burning, charmed, concealed, cursed, dazed, entangled, frightened, freezing, paralyzed, poisoned, prone, sleeping, and stunned. And then exhaustion, it represents fatigue, exposure, hunger, injuries, and other physical factors which gradually wear a character down. Sanity, there are many horrors buried deep within Ker Nethalas. And unfortunately for you, your character's feeble mind will sooner or later start to suffer the consequences of being exposed to them. The more they are confronted with the abominations hidden in a necropolis, the more their sanity will slip. It has a table, so once you reach 0 sanity points, then you roll on the madness. And of course, the higher your sanity, the longer they'll be able to hold on to their wits and keep functioning normally. Something else I think is really cool, you can actually have companions and minions. Many mastery abilities allow your character to summon or create combat companions and all sorts of minions that will fight beside you. You can only have a maximum of 3 companions at a time. And it also shows you how you can play co-op. So you can play with your friend, your spouse, and then you get to exploring. Ker Nethalas is structured in domains. A domain is a group of rooms and corridors that are ruled by an overseer. Terrible, brutal creatures that you might need to defeat if you wish to continue your journey. And then it goes right into what your light source, so it's a dark place. Now, you can get around without a torch, but I'm pretty sure it works against you. Then you start mapping out your domain. The recommended approach is to build it room by room as you go. You are free to take any pre-existing map and explore it as long as you only take into account its layout and not its content and encounters, which is super cool. So you can use any map. And this is cool. This is actually in the player aids, which is even cooler. Boom, super cool, printed out, awesome. And it lets you know you roll on the room and quarter shaped table to learn what the room or corridor you're entering looks like. So, and of course, when you enter different areas, you're going to make different checks. You've got a lot of different tables. You've got everything that you need to have a spectacular adventure within this book over and over and over again. And it breaks down the different steps that you go through when you're exploring. You've got a table for your corridor description, for your room description, and then you've got something called an events table. So once you go into the room or the corridor and you realize that there is no encounter, once you roll to see whether there's encounter or no encounter, if there's no encounter, then you would roll on this events table. You can make a scavenger check to see if you've gained some good stuff, and you can do a scavenger check anytime, each time that you enter a room. You can make a scavenger check. If you pass, you can roll on the scavenger table. And then doors and containers, it says to determine, and it shows you how to determine how the door, if the door is locked. And then you roll to see if there is a trap, the trap effect, if there is one. And then, of course, your tables for your tension. You're resting and setting camp, which is cool. For the most part, you make a camp check. So in order to make a camp check, you just roll a d20. A result of 10 plus means that everything's okay and you've rested safely. A failure triggers a roll on the encounter table and reduces all the benefits of camping by half, rounding down. Sheesh. And then camp activities, things that you could do while you're doing your downtime. So you can attune, you can set up a barricade, you can cook, craft bandages, lamp oil, craft ritual ingredients, craft torches, heal condition, repair, rest, swap mastery amulets, and then a section for potions, like if you find potions, and then you can do personal goals. You got your personal goal, you've got your actual objective and the rewards that you gain, and you can have up to 2 personal goals at a time. Then it goes into combat encounters, and a lot of this is your monster stats, your creature stat block. And then you got your spoils and loots, like your weapons and etc. Tables for potions, magic item generation. And another thing that's cool in here is you run into traders. While exploring, your character will sooner or later run into a trader. They'll pay up to 50% of the price of any items you'd like to sell and have some for sale. If this is your first ever playthrough of Ker Nethalas in the Midnight Throne, we strongly recommend that you use the following starting domain of the Necropolis to ease yourself into it, unless you prefer a hardcore version. During the first domain, the map is already generated for you. Some details are fixed, but some you will need to generate. The contents and possible encounters of each room using the procedures from Chapter 4. I think it's a really, really cool book so far. I'm enjoying the read, and I like the rules. I think they're pretty cool. I like that it has some crunch to it, you know? But yeah, so check it out. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch the video. If you have any suggestions on videos you'd like to see me do on this channel, make sure you drop it in the comments. I like this game a lot, so make sure you stay tuned because I'll definitely be playing this game solo on this channel very, very, very soon. As always, don't forget to make sure you hit that like button, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. And turn your notifications so then you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I drop every single week. And thank you so much for all the support as always. I hope you guys had a super fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys in a few days on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a new video. So I'll see you guys. Peace.